Hey there, Jamie here from Underground Ecom. Welcome to this client case study. Today we're going to be talking about how we were able to generate $137,000 in brand new email revenue after just 60 days with this client. So we'll jump straight in and I'll give you the details. They were actually operating in the premium alcohol industry, doing really stable numbers on the front end, $150,000 per month plus. However, after running an audit, we saw that they were doing really basic stuff on the back end. Their automation strategy was super basic, barely had a set of core flows in place, and this meant they didn't have a reliable system to convert subscribers or even potential purchasers into customers on the back end. They also completely weren't taking advantage of their campaigns and taking advantage of their mailing list, a really important asset, growing very quickly for their business. So we knew that they were facing huge losses in potential revenue there. On the back of this, we really set three main objectives. The first was to develop a consistent automation strategy to maximize sales and conversions. We wanted to take the guesswork out of their flow strategy and ensure they had a reliable infrastructure on the back end to consistently convert new subscribers into customers predictably. We also knew that their asset in their email list was growing day in, day out. So we wanted to make sure we had a segmenting strategy that was tailored to their needs as a brand selling premium alcohol products and making sure that we could really maximize every new subscriber that they brought onto the list. Now, the third objective that we had in place here, and this was one that was slightly more long term, was to come up with strategies to increase customer lifetime value. We knew we could do this through the channels of campaigns and flows, but we wanted to make sure that improving repeat purchase, ensuring that we got customers to repeat purchase, was going to be a core KPI for that. So we established that at the beginning and we made sure to hold on to that throughout the first 60 days. Now, if we just quickly look at the results before UE, as I said, they weren't sending anything through campaigns at this stage, and they did have a very basic automation set up in place. So doing about 14% through flows. Now let's just take a look at our approach in a little bit more detail. At the absolute crux of what we wanted to do was focusing on driving conversion. We completely stripped their welcome series and pop-up strategy for a new hyper-optimized list growth strategy that we put in place that we knew would be completely directed to conversion and maximizing the amount of subscribers we could get onto the list. Now, that was really at the foundation of what we wanted to do. On top of that, we bolstered the automation strategy. We knew where the touch points were along the customer life cycle, and we made sure to put pre-purchase, post-purchase, and repeat purchase automations in place so we could predictably turn those subscribers into customers at the perfect time and target those people at the perfect time. Now, thirdly, having a segmented strategy in place. We knew this mailing list was just becoming more and more dormant and they really weren't taking advantage of that growing asset. So we put in place a segmented strategy, content tailored to what we knew would actually convert this list. And I will just get onto this now. We really wanted to make sure that we tested that. Obviously, send times was a really important one, but making sure that we actually tested content variations. When we get brand new clients after the first 30 and 60 days, especially when we don't have any previous campaign data, we make sure to work out what specifically is going to convert that exact audience, what type of content, what email layouts, what specific triggers is going to work well for that audience through campaigns. And that's how we were able to take a very high revenue generating approach. Now, let's look at the first 30 days through email. So this is the first 30 days of working with Underground Ecom. We were actually able to raise flow revenue from 14%, jump to 24% in just the first 30 days. This was with our new automation strategy and a bunch of tests that we put in place that we just discussed. We were also able to put in place our first campaign sends and develop some of those initial tests as well and generate some quick wins there with $16,456 through campaigns. All of this done without compromising on deliverability and engagement. We still saw a 35.3% daily open rate. Now, this is great and it was a really good result to see after the first 30 days, but the essential here is that we take those learnings, those initial learnings from those flows and from those campaigns, and apply those to the next 30 days to maximize our approach and to maximize conversion, hone in on those tests that we'd put in place. And that's exactly what we did. So these are our results after the 60 days. Looking at that, we were able to take the initial flow revenue, which was at 14% before UE, up to 24%, and now after 60 days at 37%, so over double where they were at previously. And this is after just the next round of optimizations. Now, we did the exact same thing on the campaign side as well. We honed in on what was working. We increased the volume slightly now that we knew the list was capable of doing that. And we were able to double campaign revenue to $32,867 in new revenue. So really, really exciting to see that. I do just want to put into perspective kind of how this worked. We can see that the revenue increased very, very predictably and sustainably throughout the 60-day period. The list, most importantly, that they weren't utilizing, this campaign list, we can see this is brand new revenue that they completely weren't taking advantage of before. And we can also see, as a result of the new flows and the tests we put in place, very consistent and stable growth. And if we look at that in the next slide as well, as a percentage of total revenue, we now see their front end advertising dollars being put to much more work. Their business model is much more profitable. Now they know that the cost of acquisition is significantly lower because we can consistently generate those new leads into paying customers reliably month on month. So we were able to fully put that in place after 60 days. Obviously, it didn't stop there, and we have our next steps completely laid out with this client to put product-specific automations in place for maximum relevance and effectiveness, develop a win-back flow strategy, and really focus on customer retention. As well, continue testing different content variations and ensuring the strategy is as fresh as it possibly can be, and using SMS marketing to collaborate with email, this now very established email setup that we've put in place. I hope you enjoyed this case study. If you want to see more similar to this, check out the Underground Ecom website. Thanks a lot.